Hey guys, this is M4T and I'll be reviewing the Olympus M.Zuiko 40-150mm f4 to 5.6 zoom lens on this episode of On the Sea. So this lens was really the first one I purchased in addition to my kit lens, and it was really about getting reach at a low price. And so if you're shooting the moon, if you're shooting a bird, if you're shooting any distance object, you'll notice that your kit lens is probably just not enough to get exactly what you want. And even then, with zoom like this, I think you'd probably be overestimating how far you can actually reach with it, but it's still appreciated because in a lot of situations you really won't be able to get that close, and a lens like this is really affordable and it really does the job. I purchased this lens on sale at B&H for $100, which is the typical sale price for this lens. Inside the box you'll get the lens, a rear lens cover, and the lens cap. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with a lens hood, which sucks because the front of this lens isn't exactly recessed and the front element is really easy to touch and fingerprint. However, you can purchase the lens hood separately, but not at a reasonable price. There's also a pro version of this, which is 10 times more expensive and 5 times heavier. Even if you had that fancy lens, you'd still be crazy not to get one of these for a light walking around lens for just casual use. It actually does provide pretty good quality for its price. So none of these lenses are stabilized since Olympus tends to build it into their cameras, at least at the time. I think they're going to start shifting soon. That can be a huge drawback if you're using this with a camera without stabilization. For example, I use it with a G7, and if I have shaky hands, that image is going to be hard to get sharp. That's why I really appreciate the reasonable weight of this lens. It allows me to really breathe and take a shot without struggling with the weight of the lens. So on a telephoto lens, image stabilization is even more important. The more zoomed in you are, the more micro movements matter. Just to be safe, I often use continuous shooting just so I can select the best shot out of the ones I take. And on top of that, I might also use a shutter remote in order to prevent the shock from my own finger hitting the shutter button. So at nighttime, you probably won't get much use out of this lens except for maybe in extremely well-lit events or in astrophotography, which is the reason I got the lens in the first place. Even then, I felt like I could have used more zoom. At max zoom, this lens is 300mm, full frame equivalent. And I think you need around 2000mm to really get that satisfying amount of moon in the frame. Of course, once you get this lens, you'll find that there are things that were out of reach, but now you just want to shoot them. I haven't taken really many great photos with this lens yet, but I've definitely captured things I wouldn't normally be able to, like birds, all kinds of birds. Wild animals that are easy to spook. Sometimes there's a barrier in between you and the subject, and sometimes it's just space. So if you're on an extremely high rooftop, for example, this gives you a whole different perspective on subjects on the ground. It's great for using in large open spaces if your subject isn't too close. It can be restrictive indoors for obvious reasons. It's worth noting that this lens increases in physical length while zooming. So with a minimum focusing range of around 10 inches, this makes the lens really unsuitable for tight spaces. This lens might be too zoomed in to use for spontaneous close-up action, but with the scene properly set up and subjects further away, you definitely get that nice parallax, which gives your scene a better sense of movement. The autofocus comes in handy on a lens like this. I haven't had a problem with it in regards to photos. When it comes to videos, that autofocus is really dependent on the camera's ability, so I won't talk about that. So if you need to take macro shots, you can actually use something like the Raynor DCR 250, or you can just reverse another lens against the front element of the lens and go to town. And it's also possible to get reversing rings to mount two lenses instead of just holding it up with your hands, which will eliminate the shake and also allow you to better get focus. So in conclusion, the Olympus M.Zuiko 40-150mm R lens is the best bang for your buck Micro Four Third lens there is, period. I actually found myself being less able to leave this lens at home, wishing I had it when I least expected it. For this price, it's kind of a no-brainer. When I visit some of the Mayan ruins later this year, I'm going to want to have something that's cheap enough that I can afford to lose it, but also capable enough that I can actually get shots where I wouldn't normally be able to get shots in a situation like that. So the only real negative about this lens is that it expands while zooming and that it doesn't have stabilization built in. And so if you have a camera like mine which doesn't have stabilization, you're going to have some problems. And even then, I still fully recommend this lens for the best price for performance, period. That's my opinion. So thank you for watching M4T. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.